US President Donald Trump hinted on Sunday that he has finally selected the next Federal Reserve chair. The announcement comes after White House advisor Kevin Hassett said he would like to serve as the next Fed chair if chosen, amid reports of him being the front runner to replace Jerome Powell next year.
You know who I'm going to pick. Yeah.
Oh, tell us.
Kevin Hassett.
I'm not telling you. We'll be announcing it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. President.
This is a rocky flight. We're going to get out of here before something happens.
And US President not really naming Kevin Hassett, but that's the view that's coming in from the US right now for the next Fed chair. Well, moving on now, US President Donald Trump said on Sunday that his administration intends to maintain a pause on asylum decisions for a long time after an Afghan national allegedly shot 2 National Guard members near the White House, killing one of them. Now, when asked to specify how long would the pause last, Trump said he had no time limit in mind for the measure, which the Department of Homeland Security says is linked to at least a list of 19 countries already facing U.S. travel restrictions.
We don't want those people. We have enough problems. We don't want those people.
Is that a year, 2 years?
No time limit, but it could be a long time. It means get people out that are in our country. Get them out of here. I want to get them out. We got a lot of people in our country that shouldn't be here, and they came in through Biden, and he was the worst president in the history of our country. But the single biggest thing he did was allow millions of people into our country that shouldn't be here. Drug dealers, prisons were opened up and allowed to come into our country.
And U.S. authorities believe the Afghan immigrant accused of ambushing National Guard members in Washington, D.C. was not radicalized until he came to the United States. Homeland Security Kristi Noem said this on Sunday.
U.S. investigators now believe the Afghan immigrant accused of ambushing National Guard members in Washington, D.C. was not radicalized until after he came to the United States. That's according to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who spoke to television news programs on Sunday. Authorities accused 29-year-old Rahmanullah Lakanwal of shooting 2 members of the National Guard just blocks from the White House last week. The attack killed Sarah Beckstrom and critically wounded her fellow guardsman Andrew Wolf. Noem told NBC News investigators believed Lakanwal was radicalized after settling in Washington state and said they wanted to talk to those who interacted with him, including his family members. Lakanwal entered the U.S. in 2021 as part of the Biden administration's mass evacuation of Afghans who aided U.S. forces. A government file reviewed by Reuters showed Lakanwal was granted asylum in April by Trump's administration.
At Webster County High School, Sarah was the kindest student teachers hoped for.
At a memorial service in West Virginia on Saturday, people in the tight-knit communities of Webster County and Somerville County gathered to honor Beckstrom and bid her farewell. Greg Burleson is the principal of Somerton High School.
She chose a path of honor and responsibility, and she did it with humility and grace.
After Wednesday's attack, the Trump administration took steps to clamp down on some legal immigration, including a freeze on processing all asylum applications. Noem said on Sunday that immigration officials would consider deporting people with active asylum cases if it was warranted.
And US President Donald Trump said on Saturday that the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela should be considered closed in its entirety, but gave no further details, stirring anxiety and confusion as Washington ramps up pressure on President Nicolas Maduro's government. Take a look.
Venezuelans in Caracas expressed discontent after U.S. President Donald Trump on Saturday declared that the airspace above and surrounding the country should be considered closed in its entirety. I think it's unfair, says resident Manuel Romero, adding that, quote, Venezuelans are not to blame, but they are the ones who pay the consequences. Another resident, Carmen Castillo, says it affects us a lot because many people abroad wanted to come home for Christmas, while others in Venezuela had plans to travel elsewhere to see family. Trump announced the closure in a Truth Social post, but gave no further details. Venezuela's government condemned his comments, describing them as a colonialist threat against the country's sovereignty and incompatible with international law. U.S. officials contacted by Reuters said they were surprised by Trump's announcement and are unaware of any ongoing U.S. military operations to enforce the closure. The Pentagon did not respond to requests for comment, and the White House did not provide any further explanation. Saturday's announcement follows months of U.S. strikes on alleged drug boats off Venezuela's coast and is Washington's latest way of ramping up pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, who the Trump administration has portrayed as having a role in supplying illegal drugs that have killed Americans. Maduro has denied having any links to the illegal drug trade. Reuters has reported that options under U.S. consideration included attempting to overthrow Maduro, and that the U.S. military is poised for a new phase of operations after a massive military buildup in the Caribbean. In Puerto Rico on Saturday, U.S. military aircraft were seen active at the former Roosevelt Roads Naval Base. Trump told military service members earlier this week that the U.S. would very soon begin land operations to stop suspected Venezuelan drug traffickers.